So, as you know, for the past number of months, we've been immersing ourselves in the study of the five remembrances. The first four of them remind us of the inevitability of aging, illness, death, and loss. Bill calls them the existential unavoidables because we can't change the outcome of them over our lifetime. Yet, the truth of them offers a poignancy and a fullness to our lives. And now this month, we're going to sink more deeply into the fifth remembrance. And it says, "My actions are my only true belongings. I cannot escape the consequences of my actions. My actions are the ground upon which I stand." This reflection, it too is true and unavoidable. But it's different from the others in an important way because it offers us agency over our lives. We can make conscious, intentional choices to affect how we live. By the choices we make, we can decrease our suffering and live in more peace and ease. So, reflecting on this truth offers us encouragement to live more mindfully and intentionally. What we do matters. That's what this remembrance points to. That there are causes and effects. That's the truth of karma. Actions have consequences. I can remember my parents saying sternly to me just that. "You know, Lee, actions have consequences." It was similar to this remembrance, but they weren't saying it as encouragement or because I'd done something wonderful. It actually was said as a slight threat when they didn't like something I had done. Maybe I was sassy in the way I spoke to them, or maybe I gave my sister a push that I shouldn't have. They would say, actions have consequences, as a small reprimand. And I can feel myself continuing to carry that within me. And I just want to be clear, that's not the intent of this remembrance. So sometimes there's another translation that lands better for me, and I just want to offer it because maybe it will be helpful to you too. It says, "My deeds are my closest companions. I am a beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand." So for me, these words clarify this concept of karma. It's not just happening to us, but we are in relationship with it, and we can influence it. Think about your deeds as close companions, as if they're a friend or a partner whom you care deeply about. Your deeds are loyal, and they'll stay with you through thick and thin. And you are the beneficiary of this companionship, of those deeds. If you nurture them, like one would the relationship with a good friend, you will receive the benefits of peace and ease and happiness. Your happiness depends on your deeds. We are the owners of our action. What we think, what we say, what we do, we're responsible. No one else is. not our parents, not our bosses, not our enemies. At times we might try to deny our actions, or we might try to blame them on someone else, but they are solely ours, our responsibility. And because we're fundamentally interconnected, what we think and say and do has an impact on ourselves and everything and everyone around us. It's a powerful realization. We are responsible for our actions and they have impact. The truth of it is a bit sobering and inspiring too. Because the more deeply we understand this, the more we're moved to act according to the truth of this interconnected world. To act ethically, as Jay spoke of on Monday, not causing harm, and offering kindness and care as much as possible. Because it matters. Our actions matter to ourselves and to others as well. And each of us is very human. We all lose sight of our deep interconnection from time to time, and we end up acting from a place of feeling separate, from a perceived need to defend or protect ourselves. We might have some kind of knee-jerk reaction. We might not think before we speak, or we might find that we don't speak when we really should have. And we create suffering in our wake for ourselves and for others. Every one of us has these unconscious habits of mind. We are not mindful all of the time. And we all make mistakes. We all have regrets. And in those moments, the intent is not to perpetuate any sense of separateness by rejecting these places, but to befriend our humanness, to hold it gently. Each of us is a work in progress, sometimes skillful, sometimes not. We're all doing the best we can in the midst of our own circumstances as life just keeps rolling, keeps unfolding. It's unstoppable, this sense of life, and we're within it. Conditions change and we respond. And that creates a new set of conditions and we respond. This is karma. It's dynamic. It's happening every moment, with every thought, every spoken word, every action we take. Actions and consequences unfolding all the time. It sometimes feels a little overwhelming, at least to me. The speed with which karma is created. The vastness of the impacts of our actions. It's pretty likely we'll not even know their full impact. And it can make our minds spin. I know for sure that mine does. So, can we soften around it and deepen into it? Are we willing to really own the truth of it so we can move intentionally in the direction of less harm and more peace? So here's the thing. Thank goodness we know how to do this. We know how to let go of all the swirling thoughts and feel it in our bodies and our hearts, one moment at a time. This is our practice. All actions of thought, speech, and body, they start in the mind. And here we are training our minds. It's really good news. One of the first verses in the Dhammapada, some of the earliest teachings of the Buddha, says, "Mind is the forerunner of all thoughts. If with an impure mind a person speaks or acts, suffering follows him, like the wheel that follows the foot of the ox." We know this. We see it within us and all around us. A cloudy mind that is confused by greed, hatred, and delusion, it creates suffering. The world is full of it. But the verse goes on, and it says, "Mind is the forerunner of all thoughts. If with a pure mind a person speaks or acts, happiness follows him like his never departing shadow." A pure mind, or maybe we call it a pure heart mind, remembering that in Pali, heart and mind are one. A pure heart mind is clear. It is open, not constricted or holding on. And it experiences reality without distortion and recognizes the deep inner connection of life. And because of that, a pure mind is guided by the intention to not cause harm to self or others, and happiness follows. What are called the three wholesome roots arise from a pure mind: generosity, friendliness, and wisdom. This is our practice. This is exactly what we're doing. We're already in training to purify our heart mind. So I find this remembrance to really be an inspiration. By reflecting on it often, our intention to purify our mind and soften our hearts, it just gets stronger over time. And we come to understand more deeply the impacts of our actions. We become more sensitive, really, to the unbearable pain of suffering and also the deep peace and happiness of non-harming. So I know that Susan has shared this poem by Naomi Shihab Nye, and it's called Kindness. But it's so beautiful and so apropos of what we're discussing. So I want to read just the last verse. And think about when she speaks of sorrow as a kind of suffering. So she says, "Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it's only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to mail letters and purchase bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, 'It is I you have been looking for,' and then goes with you everywhere like a shadow or a friend." So thank you all for your attention. And now we can practice. So, yeah, everyone already knows. We start with our bodies. We listen to them. We offer them what they might need right now in this moment. Whether it's a loosening of tension or some sort of energizing. We just give them our full attention. And we notice the obvious places, and then we just go a little deeper, and maybe the less obvious, smaller, but just as important places. And as we're ready, each in our own time, we bring ourselves into relative stillness, settling into a posture that is comfortable and alert. And maybe with a deeper than normal breath, we let ourselves just settle in, just as we exhale. Feeling our buttocks on the chair, our feet on the floor, our back resting against the back of the chair, if you have that. These are the first touchstones that bring us into presence. And we invite our attention inward, just lightly noticing what's going on right now inside us. Providing enough space to let whatever it is move through us. And we invite our minds to settle on whatever object of meditation we've chosen, whether it's our breath or sounds or other body sensations. We let go as much as possible of the busyness and invite our mind to settle on that object. Relaxing into that object. training our minds to see clearly what is going on just with the breath or just with sound, without attaching to it, without judging it. returning again and again as much as is necessary, gently and kindly, back to your breath or other object. Back to presence. Noticing if there's any inkling of wanting things different than they are. And just settling a little more, allowing a little more. Thank you all for practicing with us today. Let me unmute us.